recording my whole bit on Andrew and Chipper Jones. That could have been the cold intro. But we were going to do philosophy stuff. We didn't do Plato's Cave. That was a good one for our last movie. So
Plato's Cave.
There's a cave. There's a bunch of prisoners. We don't need to know their crimes or anything. They're locked up.
There's bad.
They can only look at this wall in the cave. So everything they know of the outside world is just what passes by the cave mouth and the shadows it casts on the wall. That's all they know. There is a prisoner who escapes and goes and sees the real world and is telling everyone, like, you wouldn't believe there's colors, there's cotton candy. I don't know what else there is. There's all sorts of stuff out there. There's puppies out there. And the people who are locked up, but they're not going to believe him.
Right.
Like, that sounds like madness. And I think in the whole thought experiment, I think the prisoners actually then kill that guy, maybe, because they don't want to believe.
Wow.
But in The Matrix, the escape prisoner is the one who can see the real world, but other people just can't. And you can also use that to talk about how sometimes it's no fault of your own that you can't know and see the truth. Your experiences just aren't that of someone else. So you cannot be expected to know those truths. You can only be expected to know what is in front of you. But in this movie, or at least in the first Matrix, they're like, no, kill those other guys, whatever. They're complacent somehow. We hate them. It was very hardline in the first one. It gets much softer in this second one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But that's Plato's Cave.
Plato's Cave.
And then next time, we'll talk more about Andrew Jones, who is now a Hall of Famer. A lot of people were upset about that one. I say put him in. Remember The Peak?
No.
When he was at his best, that's a Gold Glover getting, what, like 45 home runs? Put him in the Hall.
Put him in that hall.
But that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about The Matrix 2. The Matrix Reloaded. So welcome to a very special episode of I Love This, You Should Too. My name is Indy Reloaded Randhawa, and with me is Samantha, escaped from Plato's Cave Randhawa.
I don't ever want to be in a cave.
You know what? You've lived the type of life where I don't think you'll ever have to.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I've had some good times in caves.
And we went to that beer fest in a cave.
That's true. There you go. So I guess you do kind of want to be in a cave.
Like, a very selective moments I want to be in caves.
You just want to be a cave tourist.
Yeah.
Not a cave raver.
What's a cave raver?
From The Matrix 2, The Matrix Reloaded.
Right, I forgot they
I was trying to put us back on topic because our intro's already a few minutes.
Yes.
But there's a good cave rave in this movie. Probably the best cave rave I've seen in a movie.
Whoa.
Maybe the only cave rave I've seen in a movie.
I don't know that
Maybe
I've seen
I just
any.
like to say cave rave.
Cave rave is a pretty good little set of words.
Well, let's get into things. We are talking about the second Matrix movie from 2003.
Yes. Because they're all from 2003 now.
Right. So this was Sam's pick. She wanted to do all of the Matrixes. We talked about the first one last week. Go check that out if you didn't listen already. So you came out of the first one relatively high.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I was pretty positive about it. Like it had some things that I'm like, wow, now that I'm older and I've seen more movies and like...
I did like it less than I did.
I definitely liked it
when I
less
was
than
15,
I did.
but I still liked it.
But I liked it so much more than I liked this one.
So part 2, not a fan.
Not a fan. I think this movie was doing a very similar thing that that Marvel movies do, where it's just really loud for a very long time and there's lots of movement.
So like the big action sequences, some of which are 20 plus minutes. That's your biggest criticism?
I also think that the story of the movie didn't really make sense.
Okay. I think I might be able to help because I actually think it made sense.
Okay.
I think it wasn't good.
Okay.
Which is different.
I just felt like it was 2 hours of nonsense.
So I've sat with it now for 24 hours. We finished it last night. And I think it is sensical in the story, but not in the sense of like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And those are coherent thoughts. But I do get in their world what all of the things mean and what they said happened.
Okay.
I think a lot of that is bad writing, and I think it contradicts other things. Though.
Okay.
But we can get into all of that.
I think the contradictions is part of what I found very confusing.
Well, I think for me, it didn't confuse me as much as it annoyed me because I kind of liked that first movie. And this movie spends a lot of time going like, oh, you know all those things we learned? Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's not a thing anymore.
It's not true.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, that was frustrating.
So for me, this movie was quite a journey. Because I came in thinking, I'm pretty sure those second two movies are junk.
Right.
So I started there. But in this rewatch of the first one, my big revelation was a lot of this is silly and it's all meant for 22-year-old philosophy students who also love shiny coats, right?
Is that you?
No, I wasn't shiny, but I wasn't a philosophy student. I just took a few classes.
I guess, okay.
And I figured out that was a good way to like part one, is just kind of be that. Just go along with like, wow, that is cool looking. And you don't have to always look into things a lot more. Because for a movie that prides itself on a lot of philosophical exposition, a lot of it's not the strongest. So I had fun with it once I realized like it should be fun. I shouldn't look at this movie like work to be dissected because it falls apart kind of quick when you do that. And it shouldn't have to stand up to that. It's a fun action movie with some fun philosophy. But we talked about all that last week.
Yeah.
So in this one, I kind of brought that with me because I started out not liking it before I watched it. Then through the first half, I felt like it was redeeming itself in my eyes. Not that it was amazing, but a lot of the things that I remembered being critical of, like the cave rave, for instance.
Right.
This time I was like, oh, I see what they're doing there. I get it. I don't always think that the amount of time spent on it was the right amount, but I see what they're doing. And maybe when I saw this the first time, I didn't get this movie because this one is probably more complicated than the first. And then around the halfway point, or maybe it's 2/3 of the way in, we have a 22-minute action sequence with the highway, and before that they're fighting ghosts in the room, and there's axes,
yeah,
and then there's
like
motorcycles.
Doors.
Then that happened, and I was very frustrated with that, and everything in the second half I just did not like. So I ended up being no, I don't like this movie. I ended up back where I started.
Okay.
So I think this movie, maybe we can talk about in two halves. I think I'm not sure how to talk about it because I have a lot to say, but my thoughts are as disjointed as the movie, perhaps.
Okay.
And we are not Matrix experts because I think there's a lot of people, just knowing what we said in the first one, a lot of the things where I was saying, why would this be like this? Those things were answered, a lot of them. A lot of questions I had from the first movie were answered, but I think they were answered poorly.
Yes. Okay, so it was just poorly answered, I think is a good way to put it.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to have questions about this that if you were a big Matrix expert, you're going to say like, well, you just have to watch the next one and it's going to answer that. We don't have that privilege right now. We will watch that tomorrow.
We're doing it one at a time.
So I'm only basing off what we know here.
Okay.
So maybe the first half, we can kind of go through it. And then the second half is more just like the big questions of what all this means.
Was that not like an hour and a half of just them on the freeway?
It was, I think the whole sequence was 22 minutes.
Because this movie
longer.
was 2.5 hours long, which for 2003 seems very long. And I felt like the last hour and a half of it was just cars on the freeway.
Yeah.
Like it really felt like the first hour of this movie was story.
And I was like, getting into
plot.
it. So let's start on that first half where it seems like we both kind of liked it.
It was plot. It was like continuing the world building that happened in the first one. There were some questions about like, okay, but like you said this in the first one and that's not what happened. And so you start us off if you have something for the beginning of the movie.
So, you know, they're going to come out hard with a big action sequence with Trinity like they did in the first one. And it's bigger and shinier than ever. It's more stylistic, bigger explosions. A lot of explosions in this one, which I don't remember there being much of in the first. Were there any?
No, there was
Didn't something hit the building and then the building all ripples and explodes? Or is that in this one?
I think that's in this one.
Might have been in both.
Well, this budget was 150 million. So, and the last one was like 60 million. So I think we had so much more explosion money.
Yeah, they used it. They continued their love of going, I'm in.
Yes.
They love saying that.
Oh, man.
Isn't that what they do in all the Ocean's movies?
Oh, maybe.
They break into something and then they have an earpiece and go, I'm in.
I'm going to start texting you when I get to the office in the morning, being like, I'm in.
No, you should do it when you come home. Instead of, I'm home, I'm in.
Just letting you know where I am.
And they do 2 of those 3-point superhero landings in the first 10 minutes.
Yes. Okay, so the Marvel stance has been around longer.
But they're before Marvel.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been dropped that hard.
Let's hope it never happens.
I hope it never happens because I'm old and brittle. But I feel like one hand down is not how I'm landing.
And there's way more computer-generated stuff we can see this time than in the last one. I'm not sure if it was good or bad at the halfway point of the movie, but when Neo is clearly a CG Neo flying through the air and stuff, I thought it looked worse, but am I just being too critical?
No,
you could tell too.
I think because there's 3 years between these movies, right? Or 4 years? Was it 99?
Yes.
Okay, so 4 years between these movies, and they had a way bigger budget for this one. And I feel like the amount of CG they used was just bad. I felt like the things that we liked about the first one of like the actors are doing the things and like this is actually happening, and our big criticism was like, well, you can tell they're on a wire, but like they're doing all the things. I feel like we really lost that in this movie, and I'm really sad about it.
I could go for some wires now.
Yeah. There was a few obvious wire moments, but like generally the stunts seemed like they were like enhanced by CGI, which is disappointing.
The first half seemed very Star Warsy to me.
Yes. Okay.
Because they have like a Jedi Council type thing.
I'm glad you thought that too, because it did this. A lot of this movie felt like Jedi Council time.
Yeah, and I kind of liked that bit about how there's the council who are kind of religious and believe in this prophecy, and then there's some people who are like, I just need to protect my family, and I'm at war here, and you guys are waiting for a savior. And you get that a bit in the Star Wars movies too, and I think that's interesting. And then it kind of goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, there were moments in this movie where I was like, is this just a direct ripoff of Star Wars? Because it felt very much like the outfits looked more Star Warsy this time. Like all the captains were wearing these like burlap sack jackets.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, but like, and it was just very much like, oh, our supreme leader leads us, and then we go out and fight this war in our ships. And like, I'm like, is this just Star Wars? Felt very Star Wars.
And it switches from Morpheus being to a bit of a Yoda to being a bit of a Qui-Gon. And Neo is sometimes a Luke, sometimes an Anakin, depending on which movie we're in.
Yeah.
I did like that there's this tension of people who are trying to just stay alive, and then people who believe that this guy that lives like 3 caves down from you is the Messiah.
Yeah.
That's interesting and seems quickly abandoned, though.
Yeah. I also felt like I never knew who the bad guy was this movie.
How do you mean?
Like, there was the Mandalorian. What was his name? Oh, the Mergovrian.
Sure, yeah. I don't know what that word means. Maybe it means something important.
The French guy.
Yes.
Who gave the girl orgasm cake.
Yes.
It felt like they were one set of bad guys, and then Smith was a set of bad guys, and then the agents were a set of bad guys. And it just felt like there was too many cooks in the kitchen of bad guy time. And it felt like every time there would be like multiple people involved in a fight, I'd be like, I can't even remember who's who, because Smith and the agents are dressed alike. And then the Mergovian guys are ghosts. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
And are they on the same side?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I was
They
like,
both are against Neo, so I guess so?
yeah. I was just very confused by the amount of people in suits, and then the people who are ghosts was like, it was too much.
I think you just want to talk about the ending. Should we just skip the first?
No. Let's talk about the. Sorry.
Should we go to ghost time?
No. Is it like a trope in movies like this where the supposed good guys never follow the rules?
What do you mean?
So it's like the council's like, all the ships need to be in so we can like fortify our defenses and like fight whatever's coming. And then Neo and Morpheus are like, we're going out, bye.
Oh, you need your rebels with a cause.
Yeah.
You need your Han Solos out there.
I don't know. It's like, I get that they know a little bit more and they're like a little bit more driven, but like you have like a bunch of people that you're just going to let die at home if you're not part of the resistance.
But at this point, Neo's kind of learned that he's God.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can make those calls.
I guess.
And Morpheus is both a religious leader and a higher up in the military.
Right.
So it's like
captain.
the Pope was the Secretary of Defense. You'd be like, oh, maybe we listen to this guy. I don't know.
he's I don't know, the
but
best.
the Pope who has just brought back a reincarnated Jesus and you met him.
Yeah, that would be pretty big. Okay. It all makes sense. Continue.
Does it all make sense?
No.
But I think that becomes a problem later, the fact that Neo is God, because they keep trying to come up with ways to give things stakes, but he can do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. So then we have all of these things of like, well, we need two teams to break in at the exact same time, and it turns it into like a heist movie.
Yeah.
That's unnecessarily complex. And then sometimes it's, oh, Neo can help you, but he's 500 miles away in the mountains.
I guess he's just going to fly so fast.
But he can fly that fast, so can't he just teleport?
Yeah.
I don't know. They keep saying that he can do anything. Oh, but not this one thing. No, but actually he can too.
There's a lot of contradiction in this because they are like, he's God. He's like so great. He can do whatever he wants. And then we're constantly spending the movie figuring out what he can't do.
I did like when military leader Morpheus gives a big speech, or I guess it's more of a religious speech. Mm-hmm. But either way, he's the commander and pope or whatever. So he gives a big speech, but the takeaway is, and now let's party.
Yeah.
That was fun and weird.
I feel like all speeches like that, like if you're gonna get real heavy and like religious and like crazy, and then you just have to end it with something fun, like let's all dance in a cave.
Yeah, they should have more
because Jesus
like
said
that.
so.
If the Pope finished his Christmas mass speech with, and now let's fucking party.
Oh, that'd be
I think
great.
that'd go over well.
I feel like this Pope of any Pope is gonna say that though.
Oh, I don't know. Well, we'll save it for Pope Talk, our other podcast.
Okay, great.
So then, of course, the party is the cave rave.
Yes.
And Neo and Trinity are having sex, and I often can't tell which one is which because, like we're talking about before,
they're twins.
Yeah.
And then people are just like half naked dancing in a cave, which seems pretty fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like hair flipping happening. It's pretty great.
And I thought this scene was so dumb the first time I saw it. And I'm not sure it's great now, but I get what they're doing. That this, unlike the Matrix world where everything is those green-blue casts, this is very earthy. This is very natural and organic and human. And it's humans being very human. So they're doing things like sweating and having sex and dancing. And it is kind of a, hey, screw you, machines. This is what we can do. Mm-hmm. And that, I guess, works. I think that's fine. I liked it.
For me.
But then we start learning, but also computer programs are also like horny and jealous and everything too. So I don't know what the difference even is at this point.
Yeah. That scene with the Manchurvian or whatever his name was.
Let's go with the Mandalorian because we both will remember that word.
Yes.
Morgovian?
Merchovian.
I don't remember.
Mervingian.
Mervingian.
That's what it was. Sorry, I sounded it out from the Wikipedia page and it actually ended up being right. So the Mervingian is very contradictory in this scene because he's like, we created everything. It's all just a computer program, but also choice.
Well, he's saying there is no choice.
Right. But there's just like everything that he says seems like a contradiction.
Yes, and I get that this is kind of the philosophy of it all, and that is a lot of contradictions, but this movie just seems like it's big action sequence, soliloquy about determinism, and then a task that is oddly specific, and it feels like it's a side quest from a video game. And then we just repeat those three things over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you need to get to this point before this clock runs out. Okay, here, let me tell you about free will. Not tell you anything.
No.
Just pontificate about it. Like, oh, what is free will? You have no choice. Well, I choose not to believe you. Oh, I guess you do. So what are these speeches for?
He felt like one of those guys who says like 1,000 words and says like 4 words worth of stuff.
Oh, we'll get to that with the architect.
Yes.
That was frustrating.
But yeah, this was just very much like, why is he still talking?
Yeah, so this Merovingian, this Mandalorian.
Yes.
He also has pals that are vampires and ghosts.
Yeah.
And they are old programs. So are we to believe that in our world, you and I, since we are living in the Matrix, in this movie, ghosts and vampires and such are old programs that there's something kind of wrong with from an older generation, and that's why they don't make sense to us, but they do in fact exist?
I feel like that fits with all of the lore of vampires and ghosts.
But does it fit with Matrix?
No.
But is that what they were saying?
Well, he said that there was... Oh, okay, so sorry. I'm going back to like going forward to the architect. But like there was so much talk about previous versions.
Yes.
And I just like didn't feel like that was necessary in this.
Do we want to just talk about the end?
No. I didn't really know what to think when we were introduced to the ghosts and the vampires.
And they were watching vampire movies, I think.
Were they?
I thought
I
thought I recognized it, but then it was gone.
I know they were watching like an old movie, but yeah, I just don't feel like this world needs that.
Because the Oracle, we learn, is a computer program, not a human.
Right.
And I think she says that ghosts and angels and aliens and such are all programs hacking programs. Did she say that, or did I infer that?
I don't remember that, but that's not unusual.
And then she says something about like, oh, you can hide in the Matrix or go to the mainframe. And I don't really know what.
Go to the mainframe?
Oh, like where the real life robots live.
Oh.
The real world where there's robots and spaceships and burlap sack shirts. I never know where they are. Are they in space? Are they underground? Are they underwater?
I thought they were underwater until this movie.
Because of how the Sentinels move?
Yes.
Because they don't have any propulsion. They just float like they were
like
swimming.
Jellyfish or something.
Yeah.
Because they're like pushing themselves forward.
Their movements are that of swimming, but they are in fact in the air.
And because they're in like a sealed ship, which like I guess if it's like a plane, you need to be sealed in. But like everything that we see in the real world seemed like it was underwater to me.
And then sometimes they'd get out of their ship and where they're walking is just wires. Like the entire world is wires because it's controlled by machines.
Yeah. Also, the cave made sense if they were underwater because this was like the only place with oxygen that they could live. So they have to live underground in this cave.
I can't remember them ever being in water, but I could have also missed that entire thing. So
I don't
I'm not
think
sure.
I remember them ever being in water, but I assumed it, and maybe this is just all in my head. But
But either way, they
were,
don't do a good job of letting you know where they are.
No,
They're just walking on piles of cables.
Zion, which we never really get an explanation of what it is.
That's the only place that I could understand, because that is a big cave and there's like houses in it and they show the machines that work in it. But
And
the
we
rest
know
of the
it's
time,
like hidden.
they're just in a series of tubes.
Yeah.
Is that in the earth? Are those artificial? Are those machine tubes? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter.
I assumed they had to hide under the ocean because we don't know what's in the ocean.
So they get one of their many tasks was to go see the Merovingian and find the key maker, because it's just like, yeah, go do this, go do this, go do this, and then they do it. And there was that one fight with the many Mr. Smiths, which was good, and then it kept going, and then I got bored of it.
Yeah. Everything seemed too long in this.
Yep, agreed.
The Merovingian to the Keymaker to, who was the last one? Oh no, it was
The Architect?
Merovingian, the Architect, and the Keymaker. It constantly felt like they were referencing people we should already know. And I felt very behind in this like sequence.
Yeah.
They're
fair.
like, oh, you got to get the Keymaker. Here's the Keymaker. You know all about him. And that's how it felt the entire movie. And I was just like, okay, but you have to like tell us who these people are. I felt very frustrated during this point, and I think this might have been when I was like annoyed by the movie.
What I have in my notes for this section, it just says, a lot of this section is nonsense. And I think it was.
Was that your note?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we glossed over, that guy sends an orgasm cake to a lady because that proves free will is an illusion.
But like nobody held her down and made her eat it.
I think this movie keeps using cause and effect and this whole determinism thing as a complete opposite to free will, but everything was incited by free will. Mm-hmm. It's just saying that there is an effect to everything does not mean those causes and effects are predetermined. Like, it gets into this determinism stuff and a lot of the existential stuff, and I think it's grasping at things and just talking around things without actually saying a thing. Mm-hmm. Which I guess is what philosophy is all about if you've taken many classes. Talking in circles for your own benefit. So the computers are both things like jellyfish sentinels, but also the Oracle and also the Mandalorian. Those are all computers.
Yes. They're computer programs.
So things like the Oracle doesn't have a physical presence anywhere.
No. They just exist in the Matrix.
But Agent Smith was talking about how much he hated having to be in the Matrix. Mm-hmm. He says, I hate this world. I want to get out of here. So implying that he has it out of there.
Yeah. Now that you're saying that, like, is there a ship that just has agents on it who are like plugged into the Matrix?
But they can appear wherever.
Yeah.
Implying that they're just code. Well, the Matrix is just code. Mm-hmm. It's almost like this movie contradicts the last movie.
It's almost like everything we learned makes no sense.
Because Agent Smith talks about how he hates how like we sweat and smell and like are so organic, and he hates it, implying he knows something else.
Right. Like he's experienced another way.
But then we have the Mandalorian and his sexy wife who are jealous and get bored and annoyed and kind of like it. Mm-hmm. So what is the real difference between computers and people at this point? Like, the Oracle is a computer program who has empathy and
cares about Neo.
Yeah.
And Trinity. Yeah.
And then you just got albino dreadlock ghosts.
Who are just like, kill him.
And I hated those guys.
Me too.
I found them very annoying.
And like we were just saying, the things that they didn't seem to transfer into other moments where doing those things would have been handy for them.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I can turn into a ghost at any time and I can like go through a door and then my arm is stuck in this door. And
I have to wait for someone to let me through.
Yeah.
All you're doing is flying through doors constantly.
Yeah. Like, and it just, things like that annoyed me.
Yeah.
Like, cool look, like very good, like special effects, makeup and everything on them, but like they didn't make a lot of sense.
The two things I remembered from watching this in 2003, one was the cave rave that this time I liked more. Mm-hmm. I thought it was terrible before. Now I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing here. And the other thing, I remember watching the whole highway sequence and just checking my watch, like, is this still going? This makes no sense and is unnecessary. And then this time watching it, I wrote down, this is the most action-packed scene I've ever been bored with.
Yeah. This one
I found it tedious.
Was very long and contradictory.
I think this is kind of the second half of the movie, and this is where, well, actually, the Mandalorian stuff is when it all started going down.
Yes.
I was interested in the whole Jedi Council of it all. And then we moved into things that I think are intentionally confusing to maybe make it sound smart.
Yeah, I could see them using misdirects in order to be like, look at how smart we are. Look at how unique all these characters are.
So the agents are working for, let's just say, the Matrix in general, and they want to take down Neo.
Right.
And the albino dreadlock ghosts are working for the Mandalorian and also want to take down Neo? Do they want to? Well, they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Why?
The dreadlock ghosts, because he has the keymaker, and the Mandalorian has the keymaker at the beginning of the movie.
So why don't they want him to have the keymaker?
Because the keymaker can make them any key to get into anywhere ever.
To get into the architect thing,
Yes.
go back to the source.
Yes.
But, so they're all in service of the Matrix, which we'll just say is the robot world. We'll just say it's the Matrix.
Yes.
That's all of them together.
Yes.
So they are both working for the same side.
I guess so, yes. But I don't think they know that they're all kind of in the service of the same thing.
Maybe. But they're on this, they want the same thing.
Yes.
To stop Neo.
Yes.
Because if Neo goes to the architect, it will reset. Mm-hmm. But that's exactly what the Matrix wants.
Yes.
Neo's self is, in fact, created by the Matrix because they need this reset.
Yes, because they need to like do version 7 or whatever it's going to be.
So all of the first movie and this 22-minute fight sequence, they are fighting for something they do not want. They don't want to stop Neo. They can't stop Neo because that would mean their own demise.
Yeah.
So they want Neo to win.
I guess so.
So then none of this made any sense.
We
didn't need this.
No, none of this means anything. We could have ended it after they got the keymaker.
They're like, just as we wanted.
Yeah.
But maybe those programs don't know that?
I think the thing is that there's bad communication in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the agents want to stop Neo. The Mandalorian wants to stop Neo from getting the keymaker. The architect wants to stop Neo from saving humankind. But they all just need to like connect and like chat about the fact that they all have the same goal.
But they are all code that you can see, especially
Yes.
they as other programs. Would you not just intrinsically know if you are part of the Matrix? You are all part of the same thing.
The greater program.
It's like your hand not knowing what your eyes want and they're like fighting each other. That doesn't really make a lot of sense when you actually dig into it that way.
It's strange. It's not a great system.
So let's just talk about what actually means what. Are there things that you're confused about of like why?
Well, I think I was mostly confused about what we just talked about, which was that nobody seemed to know that they were on the same team.
And what that team wants?
And what that team wants. And then, like, who was who? Because when you have, like, 40 guys who are all wearing the same outfit, and then you have 40 of one guy wearing the same outfit, and then you have some, like, dreadlock ghost guys, it was all very confusing because they clearly all want the same thing. So, yeah, I just found it confusing because the movie didn't do a great job of like that kind of story building.
So just a bit of an exposition dump for our own sake. He gets to the architect.
Yes.
And the architect reveals that this is the 6th, I think, iteration of the Matrix.
I think so, yes.
There was a good one where everything was perfect and humanity was like, no, I can't handle this perfection, and they rejected it. And then there was like a really bad one and humanity couldn't handle that. And now what they do is we create a savior and a prophecy through this oracle who is one of us, but will tell you things to make you believe in a religion that exists outside of the Matrix, but also within it, because we need that savior to believe that they are a savior so they can come out and return to the source, but we're going to try to stop them as much as we can. But actually, we're just letting them, but just a little bit. We'll try to kill them, and one time he will actually die. But we have faith that in the outside of the Matrix real world, which we cannot control nor see, a woman will bring him to life with true love's kiss.
Yes.
We're just going to bank on that happening.
Yeah.
And then we will continue to fight him a bunch more. But in reality, we want him to come here and to sacrifice himself to save humanity and end the Matrix and make it start over again? Question mark?
That's where I'm confused.
What actually happens is at the end when he
What
makes
actually-
the choice,
yeah,
that
do we-
I'm fuzzy on how does it reset, but he chooses, Neo, to not reset
Yes.
because the Oracle likes people now.
Yeah.
So she knows that people will believe any garbage you tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So she tells Trinity, you're going to fall in love with the Savior. So now she introduces love. She made them fall in love.
Yes.
Which is the most believable thing because I didn't believe their love story. There doesn't seem to be any chemistry between them to me. But they're just following it because someone told them to. And all they do is just like, oh, someone said this? I guess so. Let's do it.
Yeah. I guess we're in love now.
So she falls in love. They fall in love because of what the Oracle said. Because the Oracle knows that introducing love will disrupt this circle of matrices coming up and being destroyed. Because I'm going to make you love this latex lady so much that you will abandon all of humanity and say that they can die to go save her. Mm-hmm. It seems like there's got to be an easier way to do that.
There does, yeah. And as we said, I think in the last episode, they knew each other for like 2 days before Trinity was like, "Okay, we're in love now."
Well, she'd been watching him sleep for months.
So creepy. Still creepy in episode 2. Yeah, this is where it kind of lost me. It was very much like, okay, but the Oracle isn't real.
The Oracle's a program.
Yes.
But programs are just as real as anything in this world.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you can go from the real world to the computer world and vice versa. Because Agent Smith is now a human living out in the real world.
Yeah.
Because he went through a phone line.
Yeah.
That's something you can do now.
Totally makes sense. That's great.
I especially hated the architect.
Yes.
This not Donald Sutherland chump. He talks in a purposefully confusing way and then says oh, you're human, you won't understand. So he can just talk and talk and talk, which is a very convenient way to get away with just saying a bunch of nonsense. And then you just say, oh, you wouldn't understand. He is a third-year philosophy student. Mm-hmm. I hated this dude so much. And the way he spoke.
Yes.
So do you think that this is the actor and filmmaker saying oh, let's make him the most smug, hateable guy because the architect would be? Or is this an actor choice that I just don't like?
I think it's a director choice. I think this man is supposed to be wholly unlikable and think that he has the entire world in his hand.
I think he talks about, I'm too perfect and too smart. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
And I dislike a lot of the performances in this movie because they're kind of flat and weird. Jada Pinkett was, I guess she's just oh, I'm in a sci-fi where people are robots, so I'm just not going to emote ever.
Yeah.
And then I'll wear sunglasses too, so you can't even see my eyes. If there's a crack in this tough veneer, it's just stone face everyone. But this guy annoyed me the most with his fast, flat talking.
Yes. And just so smug and matter of fact.
Yeah.
He's this is what's happening. And did he need to talk for 10 minutes about the Matrix?
Well, it's a part of the loop. Now we just soliloquize about determinism.
Yeah. I don't know what determinism, but I'm assuming it's this.
Determinism is kind of what the Mandalorian was talking about cause and effect. Mm-hmm. This determines that, but in a way where you can not see to predict the future. But if something has determined it, if there's God or what have you, that we are set on these courses and we cannot deviate from them because of cause and effect. Everything is predetermined. Mm-hmm. Or fatalism gets into that stuff too. We are fated to do these things.
Right.
And then it gets into well, if God is completely omnipotent and all powerful, then we don't have free will because God knows everything that is going to happen already. So then why even bother living your life if it's all determined?
Wow.
That's
determinism.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. You know what? But the way they talk about it in this, that's kind of what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So then I wonder, So in the first one, I had a lot of takeaways and I was like, okay, I see where they're going with all of these things. And I think a lot of it gets undone in this, or maybe it's just less clear. But the prophecies in general were a lie, right?
Yes.
So then is that kind of saying that that kind of religious belief is ultimately flawed? Like religion is a lie, maybe is what they sometimes it seems like they're saying.
Or what they thought they were saying?
Maybe, but it kind of says the opposite. And then I think there's probably something to be said about the architect being portrayed here as an all-powerful kind of old school god, where it's like a white guy in a white suit with a white beard, like your classic visual representation of a Judeo-Christian god. And in that way is kind of a stand-in for religion and determinism and fatalism and all that comes with an omnipotent god. And then Neo rejects the very premise of the choices because they're saying, like, well, clearly you're going to choose this and we've created everything so we know what's going to happen because it's God and determinism. Then Neo maybe is the argument for free will because he not only chooses the other thing, but rather rejects the choice as a whole. Mm-hmm. And I think Neo's actions, you can talk about being like existentialist, because existentialism has to do with the idea that there is no divine plan or specific point to anything, but you have to go through the stages of realizing that and then realizing that you are the creator of meaning, and that's where like free will comes in. And I kind of like a lot of existentialist thought, or even into the nihilist stuff, where it's not the nothing matters, why try, but it's the nothing has inherent intrinsic meaning and it is up to us to create that meaning. I get on board with that kind of stuff, and maybe that's where Neo is coming from a bit, but I don't know. It's not terribly clear.
It's not clear.
But I guess this movie, while the first one was all of that Plato's cave type stuff of only some of us can see through the proverbial veil, this one is about determinism and choice. And they say it so much. Choice is the problem. But they don't actually like say anything about it.
I'd like to know how many times they say choice in this movie. Because it is got to be close to 50.
And I think all of the things you can say about what this movie says ultimately about free will, you have to really stretch to get there. Because some of it makes more sense, like with the humans rejecting the first paradise version of the Matrix. I think you can draw a direct line from that to the whole Garden of Eden thing, that humanity apparently had it all perfect in Christian belief, and then it was our own wanting more, wanting something else that ruined that for us eventually. But in doing so, I think you could argue that then we gained free will. We lost paradise for free will, which is what happens with these generations of matrices. And then maybe in that way, Neo is a bit of a satanic figure rather than a savior figure in the Matrix world, because in that world, architect is God, and we see that very clearly. He tells you very often about how perfect and unquestionable he is. And Neo is the one who is upsetting the status quo, or at very least is more the serpent in the Garden of Eden, because the serpent is neither good nor bad. I think people would say that, oh yeah, the snake is from the devil and it tempts humanity, but snake's just snaking around, you know?
He's just living his life.
Saying, hey, have this apple. And it's kind of on us for eating the apple. But again, is that good or bad? Because we now have free will, but lost perfection.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what to think is coming in the third movie now. Now that the second movie was so confusing and contradictory.
Because this movie just has a lot of like, hey, we control you, Thomas Anderson. And he's like, haha, I'm free now. So, well, we got you again. Well, now I'm actually Superman. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Oh, but we controlled you and made you Superman. And then he's like, well, now I'm going to choose my own thing. And I'm also double Superman. Because then he gets out of the Matrix and has superpowers?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
At home, I guess.
Yeah, he's just at home.
At home superpowers.
Is the One a program?
That's what I was thinking.
It doesn't make sense, but it makes as much sense as anything else.
Yeah, like if the Oracle isn't actually like an Oracle and he's not supposed to be a computer program,
Who's the he?
the one, then like, what are the rules?
Because before I'd say, well, he can't be a program because he exists in the real world. But we now know that the real world is way more intertwined with the Matrix than we thought, because Smith is now a physical being in the real world and Neo has powers in the real world. So clearly it's not a hard delineation anymore. So then Keanu chooses to save Trinity instead of Zion. Even though wouldn't her body still be
Yeah, her
in
body's
Zion
still
get
in
killed?
Zion. It's somewhere in the real world.
It's in the ship where he is too? Question mark?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so saving her in the Matrix does not necessarily save her outside of the Matrix.
No, because we saw in this whole saving the world sequence that one of the ships was blown up and those 3 people who were in the Matrix just dropped dead.
Right.
So we know that like if you die out there, you die in here.
And vice versa.
And vice versa. So Trinity's going to die either way and he's going to die either way.
But she doesn't, because he brings her back to life, but with true love's kiss.
No, he brings her back to life by shoving his hand in her chest twice.
By touching her heart, literally and figuratively.
Shoving his hand in her chest and squeezing her heart.
Yeah.
And also shoving his hand in her abdomen and pulling out a bullet.
I feel like a hand in there is doing more damage than the bullet
I
once
feel
it's
like
already in.
he could have just done 2 fingers and pulled the bullet
Through the
out.
hole?
I don't think he needed to like put his whole fist in there.
But he can, because he can do anything now.
He's magic.
I kind of forget where this movie leaves off. It's a cliffhanger, but he stops the Sentinels in the real world, and then...
Oh, and then they're back on the ship, and they're like, there were only 2 survivors, and one is Neo, and the other one is the bad guy,
The new Agent Smith.
double agent guy, yeah, who was then possessed by Agent Smith.
Well, it's not Joey Pants, though. It's a different guy.
Oh,
Right? I didn't think Pants was in this. Did I just not notice him?
who's Joey Pants?
Joey Pants, Cypher, the double agent from the last movie.
Oh,
This is a different guy.
okay. This guy's name is Bane.
Oh.
I don't know. But I guess that's where we're going to pick up in the next movie?
Yeah, so now Agent Smith is in the real world.
Yes, and he's on the ship with Neo.
And also Neo has Matrix powers in the real world.
Yes, because he's magic.
And maybe Agent Smith has powers in the real world. We'll see. He can take over people's bodies. That's a pretty good power.
Yeah, and he can perform CPR internally.
That's tough. It's very useful.
It's going to be a really useful skill for him.
So, final thoughts?
Oh, man. I am hesitant about what's going to happen in this 3rd movie because I'm worried it's just going to be a like freeway fight scene for 2.5 hours.
The only thing I remember from part 3 is it was just robots shooting robots for 30 minutes. I remember saying that, and that's all I remember. So I hope we get some answers, because now that we're watching them this quickly in succession, the idea of like, well, what is the whole behind the scenes plan is actually interesting to me. Although I admit I got frustrated with it in this because it just contradicted itself, or not even contradicted, but just said, oh, none of this mattered because it was what I wanted the whole time.
Right.
I've seen that in other movies or novels where there's this big elaborate plan or book. It's kind of the same to me as, oh, it was all a dream.
Right.
So what you're saying is you wasted 3 hours of my life is what I'm hearing. I take that personally, and I think it's sloppy writing, and I think it's wasting someone's time because nothing had consequence. I feel the same way with how we're getting into a lot of multiverse things in the superheroes where none of this ever mattered because it was a different dimension. It's like, well, so then what do I care?
What's the point? Yeah.
This one, we went through all these twists and turns of the first movie, a movie that brought so many people into like different types of philosophical thought, and it was a real brain teaser of a movie for a big budget action movie. And now you're saying, Oh yeah, all of those things, all of the trials and tribulations of this man being found who was nothing, and then actually he's the chosen one, and now he has superpowers. We're saying like, yeah, we did that. You didn't do that. That was us. We keep doing it. This is the sixth time we've done it. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's kind of makes it seem like I didn't need to watch that whole freeway fight because you wanted him to get through anyway.
Yeah. Like there was no point.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But now we're going to see what the point is. And then the architect was going to be like, oh, I knew you were going to do that too. And then you will say, well, I'm so powerful, I knew you were going to do that. And then they just keep one-upping each other like those terrible magician movies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I am kind of excited to watch it.
I'm interested. I'm cautiously optimistic about it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to hear what we think next week.
Is the architect a villain?
Yes.
Okay.
Because generally the world builder is a villain.
Oh, you're saying God is a villain. Gotcha.
No,
Nice.
I'm saying
Agreed.
that in
How dare he do this to me?
movies like this, the overall builder of the civilization is generally not the best person. Unlimited.
Well, he made the Matrix. He didn't enslave all of the people and make them batteries.
True.
So if he was just a program designed to do this, like, he's just doing his job, man. He's like, I just work here.
I guess, yeah.
He's just following orders. But no, I'm not going to play devil's advocate of why the architect is bad. I mean, good. I just wanted to know if I could use him, because we do our awards episode on episode 350, and there's a category of who did you hate that was not the villain? And I was going to say this guy, because I hate this dude.
Yeah.
But I also hate the Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, there wasn't a medium bad guy.
Remember how the Mandalorian's girlfriend is like...
Persephone?
Is that her name?
Yeah.
Wow. Good memory. Persephone says, oh, I will help you destroy the world.
Yeah.
But you got to give me a kiss first.
Right?
That's her price?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Why she got to do that?
Yeah, that's weird. That's a weird thing to ask for.
And how Trinity reacts was very funny to me.
She's jealous.
Yeah. She's as jealous as a robot.
She's like, back off my man.
She seems very much like how Persephone is. They both have jealousy issues. Mm-hmm. So what's the difference? Why do robots hate the people? They're just learning to be people.
Yeah.
One last thing.
Okay, go.
You always have the page up. Was Roy Jones Jr. in this movie?
Let me look.
We'll cut this out if he's not. But Roy Jones Jr., at the time when I was familiar with him, was one of the greatest boxers of all time. At his peak, he was, I think, the best pound-for-pound boxer on earth for a good 2 years. I think he was fantastic. I know there's people who are going to make an argument of who was at that point, and Roy Jones Jr. was special. He was good.
Yes, Roy Jones Jr. was in this movie.
He was the captain of that.
Captain Ballard.
Yeah.
And he... I'm now learning about him. He's a professional boxer from 1989 to 2018 and again in 2023.
But from 2000 to 2003, right around, that's when this movie came out. He was so good.
Ooh.
He was fantastic.
I know he has an orthodox stance.
Yeah.
And that he competed in 4 different weight classes.
Yeah. Yeah, he would just move up because he had nobody left to beat where he was. So he'd gain some weight, go beat them up there. And then he'd well, now I'll lose a bunch, go beat them up there.
Wow. Okay.
He was great. Good for you, Roy Jones.
I hope he's in the next one.
There were a lot of people in this where it's wait, I know that person from somewhere, but not always the places you'd think. Casting in this movies really is very interesting. It's not always the things you would think, the choices that most people would make. Yeah. And also a surprisingly diverse cast as well.
Yes. Okay. I was going to say that because it did feel like during the cave scene, it was very multicultural down there.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I always have to realize that multicultural does not include 4 billion people.
No, true.
Because Indian people, I don't know what happens to us, but we do not exist in the future.
You never make it to post-apocalyptic world.
And look at something like Star Trek, where it's all nerds and engineers, and there's no Indian people and hardly any Chinese people. Come on, man.
Which is a large amount of computer
That's what we do.
programmers. And who's running your spaceship?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I wonder what happens to you in the apocalypse,
I know,
because
something happened.
it's not good.
All of India and most of China gets blown up at some point before we go into The Matrix or Star Wars.
Because that's also a huge part of the population of the world.
Yeah, that's half the population in those two places, really.
And they are gone.
They're gone.
You're right. But we know that the Asians and the black people, some of the other Asians and the black people,
not that many.
Not that many, but a few made it out.
Yeah.
And then most of the white people were okay too.
All right, I feel like I got so much more, but it's more questioning than answers. So let's call it a day. And we'll meet you back here next week when we talk about, what's the third one called? Revisited?
Matrix Revolutions.
The Matrix Revolutions. Matrix 3, also from 2003, just a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then we'll go on. Oh, there's still more after that. So, you know what? We don't need to talk about it. See you next week.
Bye.